Kings of Leon. Let's do a song.
I think you get those glasses right there.
You got them. Hey, you got the hair.
Yeah.
You got the hair.
The hair's natural.
You got the hair, baby. I gotta work now. I gotta get the little. I'm trying to keep up with you. Yo, this is recording artist extraordinaire Benny Cassette, the one and only champion of the underdog, working man's hero, interplanetary galactic persona. You are here live with MOOFACES TV. Stay tuned for more incredible content from here till infinity. God bless.
Welcome to MOOFACES TV, folks. I'm your host, Brandon J., and this is an exclusive here in Silver Lake in the recording studio of Benny Cassette, pop recording artist. We're joined today with Benny Cassette. Benny, it's an honor to be here and have this exclusive interview, and we're here in your studio. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you guys here. I'm glad you made it out to the hills of Silver Lake.
Oh, definitely. Now, I have a few questions for you,
Please.
So our viewers at home can get to know who you are better as a person. Tell us what it was like for Benny Cassette growing up as a kid.
Well, my youth and childhood was actually not far from here in a very, diverse upbringing, I'll say. I grew up in a neighborhood that was mainly Latino, in a household that was Italian and Spanish, and I went to school with basically all African-American kids in the inner city. So in every aspect of my life, I experienced different types of music, different types of culture, different types of slang. And so for me at the time, it was very confusing, but now as an artist, it's amazing because I have all these different backgrounds that I can pull from and different cultures that I can look at, and I can relate to different people, and I understand different types of music because I heard jazz in the house, I heard oldies and salsa and ranchera on the streets, and then at school I heard hip-hop. And then on the bus I heard new wave because the bus used to go through Beverly Hills and Bel Air and all that to get to the valley where I went to school.
You mentioned all these different styles and definitely diverse culture. Who were some of your biggest influences in the music industry?
As far as actual musicians, wow, that runs the gamut.
But I'm over here and I'm lucky.
Yeah,
I see Thriller and all these guys up here.
I try to keep the good ones on the outside so I look cultured. So people come like, oh man, no, but I mean, of course, like everybody loved Michael Jackson and Prince and Madonna and all the way back to Marvin Gaye and Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Miles Davis, and then of course for hip hop, Tribe Called Quest, being from LA, NWA, De La Soul. I mean, it's just so many, but those are some of I can look at certain artists and see a key point in my life, like something that happened, like, I first heard NWA when I was in elementary school, and wow, that changed me to hear somebody say F the police. It was it's like growing up in LA, that was revolutionary.
And it was very controversial at the time.
Well, I mean, we grew up in Los Angeles having the police harass us. So, when you were hit with a baton by police and cuffed and kicked by cops in your neighborhood, and you felt like you had no power, and then all of a sudden, somebody from your city was saying F the police, it made you feel good. And that was a huge influence on me because it was wow, you can actually say something in a song that people can relate to and then, feel empowered.
Now, let me ask you this. We're in 2010, the year 2010, and the industry has changed dramatically. And, I'm not just going to say the music industry, but since you're a musician, we're going to relate to the music industry. What do you think is different in the music industry in today's year of 2010 comparable to 10 years ago?
Well, I think for one, technology is completely different, and so the playing field is level now. It used to be if you didn't get a deal, you were never going to see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the internet and all these different tools, you can release music, you can release products, all on your own. The pro of that is that now you have your own outlet. The con is there's no gatekeepers, so there's just a lot of nonsense out there. There's some people that the product's not ready to be put out, but they just put it out. The way that artists are being set apart now is you have to be a brand now. So it's no longer just about having a great song. It's about, okay, Benny Cassette has a great song, but he's a brand. We can see him as a fashion icon. We can see him as this. 10 years ago, you could just have a hot song and blow up.
Now, you mentioned the internet. Do you think Napster has something big to do with changing how the music industry is involving artists and how they look for talent and how they put them out now?
You just have to if you want to participate in the music industry, you have to do a lot more work on your own now. you can't just walk around with 3 good songs and expect to get put on. Now you actually have to create the buzz, the fan base. You almost got to be making a complete living as an artist now before somebody comes along to help you get to the next place.
So basically, labels are basically, well, Benny, we'll use you as an example. Benny, we're going to have you go out there. We're going to have you do your own album. We're going to have you do the music video, build the buzz, so they can just slap their name on it and capitalize.
Well, I mean, the industry has changed and labels are hurting. So, Brandon, if you had $100 in your pocket and you had 3 artists sitting in front of you, you had one guy that had a hit song but nobody's ever heard of. You had one guy that's out performing all the time but nobody goes to his shows. And you had another guy that had a hit song and has people going to his shows. It's been at it for 5 years. Which one are you going to spend your last $100 on?
Probably the one who has the following and the hit song.
Exactly. 10 years ago, you might have had $20,000 in your pocket, so you could have spent $2,000, $2,000, $10,000, and given all 3 a shot. Now you can't do that. Now you got to pick one out of the 3. So you're always going to go with the guy that's already out there testing the stuff and getting response. Don't wait for anybody. Don't. I always say the people that are the ones that get put on are the ones that have the ability to say no. So if you can create a living with what you're doing and not have to rely on anybody else, then you're good. Then everybody will be knocking in your door. The problem is we have a bunch of people that got their hand out trying to get a deal. Hey, listen to this. Help me, help me, help me. Nobody's going to help you in this game.
No.
Ever. So people say, I always hear this question in interviews, and they're like, don't give up on your dreams. Don't ever quit. Keep going. And, that's true. But ultimately, what I say is beyond that, change your mindset and stop waiting for people to put you on, because nobody's going to put you on. Make it happen yourself. Create it. You know what I mean? Like, go in the club, get your show booked, give the DJ your music. You got some tracks, stop trying to get a placement on Rihanna's album. It's not going to happen. Go find an artist nobody's ever heard of on the street and produce them and make some hot records and go playing for everybody you know. And that stuff is what turns you into an actual viable artist, a viable producer. Make a video on your own. You ain't got no money? Go get a flip camera and come up with a creative concept and put that on YouTube. And you know what? You might get 1 million hits because it's that creative. You don't have equipment? Go bum a laptop off Craigslist for $150. And if you don't have $150, go work a Jack in the Box till you got it. So it's like nobody's going to put you on.
You have to think outside the box. You have to be aggressive. You have to be persistent and determined.
Because there's 1 million kids that are making beats on their laptop. There's 1 million kids that are trying to rap. You know this. How many artists, hey, man, interview me, let me get...
It's crazy.
So
overwhelming.
So the reason you're sitting here today is because you found something that's unique and different.
Right.
And regardless if you like it or not, you're intrigued by it. So all those other kids out there have to think the same way. What can I do to become unique and intriguing? Prince used to say it all the time, one of my favorite quotes. He's like, I don't want people to ever think that I'm okay or be lukewarm about me. I either want them to love me or hate me. Because if they love me or hate me, they're always going to remember me. If they think I'm okay, they're going to forget me.
I was browsing your website earlier today, and I was reading that you're into style, and as you can see, you've got quite a style. Tell us about how you define your style.
I'm real big into vintage, high design, high fashion. I call it like retro future. So like a lot of people are like heavy on this future thing. I love the futuristic styles of a lot of 70s and 80s designers. So from like, Yves Saint Laurent to Dior to Hermes to Cazal glasses. So I like a lot of the vintage kind of, high design stuff. So for me, that really defines my style, because anything that makes me look like, I just walked out of a country club somewhere in the future and grabbed my rock guitar and got on my spaceship and went to do a show on another planet, I feel good about. So if it's gloves, if it's jewelry, if it's Cazals, if it's, whatever it is, Dior glasses, just whatever makes me feel like I'm floating, I'm good.
It's all about feeling good, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think style should be fun. So many people take it so serious about, I can't believe what she was wearing. Like, for me, it's like, yo, Joan Rivers, let's go. Like, let's have some fun with the style.
Benny, thanks so much for taking the time. Folks, if you want to check out Benny Cassette, his songs, his bio, really read up on him. Check out his videos. Go to BennyCassette.com. Benny, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just want to say thank you for the interview, and thank you for listening, and great questions. And it's always a blessing to be interviewed by somebody that asks more than just, so who makes your jacket? What type of socks are those? Like, what song's your favorite? So I just want to thank you for asking intriguing questions and pushing the envelope as far as interviews go.
Hey, our pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir.